PGA National. Get your tickets today at thecognizantclassic.com.
All right, fine. You want to get rid of Tua? How are we going to do it?
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo filling in today. It is Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. We're streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Hope everybody's having a wonderful afternoon. The 11th of February, 2026. Got a packed program ahead up until 4 o'clock. No Theo today. He's at the dentist again. Let's just get this out of the way. Theo's dentist is going to retire after he is done with Theo. Theo has gone to the dentist 9 times in the last month and a half, and he's at the dentist again. He's putting this guy in a retirement home, Christian.
I could, unashamedly do 2 hours just on this. This guy...
Is this not the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your entire life? He's at the dentist again? I filled in for him 2 weeks ago because he was at the dentist, and I did a week before that because he was at the dentist. Either Theo's never brushed his teeth in his life, or that he is completely under the thumb of this terrible dentist who, keeps bringing it back for more. Doctors love cutting you open. It's a matter of if you agree to it. He's agreeing to everything this guy wants.
It's awful. It's like the dentist is hiding a Werther's original behind, his molar every single time he goes and gets an operation done by the dentist. Theo's dentist should not infringe upon our lives at this degree. We shouldn't know about Theo's dentist history. For as image-obsessed Theo Dorsey is, a guy with a background in television, where his image is everything. He's an influencer. He does take care of his teeth.
Does he?
I've never thought...
Are you sure? Have you checked on this?
I've never looked at Theo.
Have you double-checked?
Theo probably takes care of his teeth 14 times the amount that I do. And that's a conservative estimation. 1.5 a day is where I go by.
Listen,
sometimes I'll remember the second time. Oftentimes I don't.
I haven't analyzed Theo Dorsey's teeth myself, but what I can say is nobody needs to go to the dentist 4 times in a month. Nobody. 0 people. And Theo has done it about 1,100 times. He is going to buy this dentist is never going to have to work another day in his life because of Theo Dorsey. Whoever this dentist is in the West Palm Beach County area, congratulations on early retirement.
Yeah, seriously.
Thanks to Theo.
I feel like they're washing money. Theo's getting a cut back from this in some way, shape, or form with insurance fraud.
Constantly. I mean, this is the 100th time that Theo has had to go to the dentist in the middle of the day, too. Did he get another operation?
Yeah, well, he got a tooth pulled today.
He got a tooth pulled? Why
That's
do you need
the
to
problem.
get a teeth pulled?
It's not necessarily when these appointments are happening in terms of time of day.
Who needs to get a tooth pulled? It's 2026. What could a 30-year-old guy possibly have wrong with his teeth that he gets them yanked? My 92-year-old grandmother just got some of her teeth yanked. That makes sense. 30-year-old Theo Dorsey, who, according to Christian, brushes his teeth 600 times a day. I don't know. What are we pulling teeth?
I'm starting to think he doesn't believe in Western medicine, and they're going into this dentist office and they're doing sage and there is black magic going on right now, and they don't believe in
Crush
Oral
out
B.
the berries for the painkillers.
Yes, I'm starting to believe that something sinister is happening in these dentist appointments. Again, it's not because this appointment happens between 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's that he will have a numb mouth for the day and can't actually perform his physical duty.
That's another thing. I don't remember the last time I've ever went to the dentist where the numbing agent or anything that carries over hours into your day. This guy's shooting him up with horse tranquilizer, and he comes into the office and he can't even move his mouth for 6 hours.
He's tried it before, and it has been okay, yeah, we don't want you on air.
No, I've heard him talk. He can't speak, but I'm talking about the amount that they are administering to him. I maybe think is a little overboard.
Yeah.
There's no way. I've had Novocaine. That's what it is, I think. Novocaine before, and it wears off after about an hour. And Theo, I was talking to him, and he's drooling out of the side of his mouth. and he can't move his tongue, and he can't talk.
I think they're
What the hell are they shooting you up with in this dentist office?
Theo is in an abusive relationship with these people. Like, I think like they're putting him out, and something's like they're harvesting his organs, and he doesn't know about it.
Theo's got to be in like a black market bare knuckle boxing league that he fights in on the weekends, and he has to get his teeth checked every 5 seconds because he's in this. Something he is doing in his free time is causing this. Because I don't know what a 30-year-old needs to get teeth pulled. Teeth pulled. What could you He got a root canal last week. He had another dentist appointment before that. He had cavities filled, and then he has had now a tooth pulled. For what?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this.
He's in a bare-knuckle boxing league. That's the only explanation I could think of.
That's one route. Another route I can think of is maybe this dentist has blackmailed Theo and like has something holding over his head.
Gambling debts?
Something like that. I don't know. And every single day, Theo needs to cover up for the story, needs to have a dentist appointment to make it believable for him to be wiring thousands of dollars to the dentist's office.
That's another thing. Dentists are not cheap. So he's quite literally putting this guy away for life in his retirement because of the amount that he is seeing this guy. You know, you go to the dentist, you go to the front desk after, you schedule your next appointment, they're on top of it, and you say, all right, 6 months from now, I'll see you again. They come back this time next week? Like every single week, he is back in this dentist in the middle of the day. When I go to the dentist, I go at 7 in the morning. I go to the first one. And I know some people do it differently, but if you're going to do it in the middle of the week, first one in. And Theo needs to get these grand scale operations at his local dentist 600 times a month.
Yeah, he's getting the.
I'm down on Theo.
He's getting the rigmarole that some people do when they hear a funny noise in their engine, and then all of a sudden they need to replace the entire car, and it's total.
Right. This is you're doing too much. Your mouth is fine. All right. Yeah, your mouth is fine.
Dentist free in 6 years.
The tooth is fine. I've never heard him once complain about a tooth. Have you? Outside of when he has a dentist appointment around the date.
I kind of feel like his tooth pain is all stemming from the dentist office the day before.
That's what he does. He drills the tooth. There's a problem right there. I've never heard once in the year and a half I've known Theo, never once heard him complain about his teeth. Never once.
Visually, his teeth look fine. Like there's
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what they look like, but I could tell you that he's never complained about it. Never.
Yeah, it's pretty infuriating. I got to be honest. It should not affect this office as much as it does.
It's fine. Happy to fill in. No problem. But the bottom line is if you're going to think about this objectively, Theo Dorsey going to the dentist for the 6th time in 2026, I think is a bit much. Getting his teeth pulled. What? Teeth pulled? Brush your teeth, Theo. Floss if you have to. Mouthwash. Whatever you need to do. Change toothbrush brands. Get an electric toothbrush. Whatever you got to do.
Maybe he's lying. Maybe Theo's lying about the nature of these appointments.
Is this the bare-knuckle boxing league? Is this where he is?
No, I'm thinking these are actual dental procedures being made right now.
He's got something else going on?
But he's embarrassed about the nature of them because people in sports and people in media have been chastised for opting to get veneers. And he could be. I don't know how the operations work. Maybe there's a bunch of pre-ops that go into getting actual dental implants. That's what a veneer is.
Right.
And maybe he is opting for that performance enhancing.
You think he's getting veneers?
Yes. I think.
I've seen that. They have to shave your teeth down. They have to measure it out. They have to measure out your mouth. That's one meeting. All right. And then you have to come back and he has to get. Why did he get a root canal? Unless that was the measuring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all these prerequisites and all these pre-operations where I think that he is getting the common man's Botox. Right, like just these days, the trendy.
Very South Florida of him.
Right. I think that could be the case.
I'm way more down on Theo if that's the case. You know, one thing, dentist taking you for a ride, he's taking advantage of you. That's one thing. But if you are getting teeth enhancements for aesthetics sake during the workday, dude, you're wasting everybody's time, including your own. You're wasting everybody's time. You're getting fake teeth. What are you, belt? What are you, like, come on. Who has the bad ones? Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford has the worst fake teeth you've ever seen in your entire life. Is that what Theo's doing? He's going to come in with brand new shiners that are too big for his mouth?
I think I'd get, I don't know what the process is.
They shave down your teeth to like the roots.
Does it hurt?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, I mean, like if I have like money to spend, throw around, why not?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. I don't need to shave my teeth down and get veneers. Half the time, they don't even look good.
What do you mean, like, look good? Like, you mean look natural?
You look up what Matthew Stafford looks like smiling, and you tell me if that looks good. Because Matthew Stafford with his veneers, it's distracting. And that's what Theo's doing. He's getting veneers. He's getting veneers, or he's in a bare-knuckle boxing league, and he needs to get his teeth operated on once a week. Those are the two options. Because no person has ever had to go to the dentist 5 times in 1 year. In 2 months.
Yeah, and who would willingly, even if the doctor, the dentist was asking you to come back next week, I hate the dentist. Like, I cannot stand going to the dentist, even if it's just a routine cleaning. I would resist with all of my might going to the dentist, let alone at the frequency that Theo appears to be even going to the dentist.
My first question, whenever we're at the dentist, and the dentist is like, we're going to need to see you back in, we got this coming on, or this is happening, whatever the explanation is, I say, how urgent is it? The first, like, is this like an actual problem, or is this like
and the answer is it's never urgent, because if it was urgent, they would refer you to an actual like mouth doctor, not the dentist. If it was urgent, they need to get x-rays, like real x-rays, like MRIs done, and check out and make sure everything's okay.
Am I good? Am I gonna survive this? And he goes, yeah, you're gonna survive this. All right. We'll see if I get back in here. All right? That's it. Are my teeth cleaned? All right. We'll see. That's all I could give you.
Haven't been to the dentist since...
all right. Here we go. This is the wrong guy to talk to about this.
I think 20...
This is the least hygienic guy I know. Go ahead.
It was this century. 20...
Have you been in since you moved to Florida?
No.
You have not been to the dentist? You moved to Florida 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
4 years ago. Definitely not been to a dentist in Florida since I moved to Florida.
The wrong guy to talk to.
I've never been to a dentist that wasn't my hometown dentist, and
That's fair. I go to the dentist on the holidays. I go to the dentist on the holidays.
I would never waste a day doing that. Like, I look forward to those holiday vacations.
I go when I'm in Connecticut.
Still, I mean, yeah, like you're off from work or whatever, and it's the jolly time of year.
You're out of there at 7:35.
Oh, nice. I get to set my alarm for tomorrow morning on my day off. So why? To go to an optional dental cleaning. And clean at home.
When's the last time you went to a dentist? Was it during the Biden administration, or was it before that?
It was definitely
2020.
No, yeah, it was 2018, 2019.
It was Trump's first turn.
Yes, definitively.
Oh my God.
I'm okay. And look, I am thousands of dollars richer because of it.
We're talking to the wrong guy.
1.5 times a day.
Christian's body's indestructible. Because he doesn't drink nearly enough water, and I'm on him about it all the time. He doesn't drink Christian drinks about a cup of water a day. And
well, you know, if I'm lucky, like there's water in
coffee. There's days where
coffee.
Christian does not drink any water. And then on top of this, he hasn't seen a dentist.
Sometimes I'll open my mouth up in the shower, kind of give it a little morning. Good. Dry mouth.
The shower water?
Yeah. You know, just like, all right. So I don't drink water in the morning. I'll have the iced coffee on my way to work, and there's water in that.
Right. We brought this up with the wrong person, is what I'm getting. This is the wrong guy to talk about hygiene. And
I got blood work done and never rescheduled for the second one.
You need to do blood work twice?
Maybe not blood work, but I never got my official physical done.
Physicals, I could listen to a physical. I haven't done a physical in a while either. I haven't done a physical in a number of years.
They hooked me up to this machine, and like they checked everything was okay. Yeah, they gave me a thumbs up, and I was okay.
Yeah, I haven't even set up a primary down here, so I haven't been to a doctor. But so I could listen to that. But a dentist is one thing. It's hygienic.
Yeah.
You have no interest in that.
I take care of myself to my standards.
That's a good follow-up to your standards.
If we handle our bodies with kid gloves, when the slightest bit of change in our environment does happen, we won't be equipped for it.
So you're saying your body is adaptable?
Yes.
All right.
I can handle it.
All right.
When it hits the fan and maybe the toothpaste companies go bankrupt and we've got to adapt and overcome, I will be better suited than the average person.
Do you have an electric toothbrush?
No. That's a waste of money.
That's not a waste of money.
Yes, it is.
No, I have one. It's nice. It's good.
In what way?
You know, the one thing I'll add to that is the dentist did sell me on the electric toothbrush, but I didn't buy it from him. So it didn't. He didn't benefit at all. You know, he doesn't benefit at all.
You think they mark it up in the office?
Yeah, maybe. I got it on Amazon. If he's getting a markup on that, then good for you. He did tell me. So I'll listen to that. But I trust my dentist. You got to trust your dentist. That's important. I don't trust Theo's dentist.
No,
I don't
no one
trust
should.
Theo right now.
Okay, so you do electric toothbrush.
I have the electric toothbrush, and I floss, and
You floss.
I do.
How many times a day do you floss? How many times a week do you floss?
5 times a week. 5 times a week. I'll miss maybe a day or two.
Come on.
I'm good about that. I am good about that. And I used to not be good about that, but I made an effort to get better at that.
If I flossed and didn't catch
Dude,
like a chicken wing.
If you flossed, the stuff that would come out would predate the last 2 presidents.
Oh, a blow pop. Like, oh, wait, I forgot about that one. Save that for later.
Like food that got discontinued.
Yeah.
Like companies that went bankrupt, you'd have food that got discontinued
Yeah, it's like, wait a second.
fall out of your teeth.
Wow, the McRib. Remember that?
The Filet-O-Fish, is that in season?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
The Shamrock Shake. Wait a second.
My gosh.
That didn't come out yet. That's next
Talking to
month.
the wrong guy. That's not the right guy to bring up Judge Theo's hygiene. It's not the right guy to bring this up with. Jeez. I can't do that.
But I'm doing okay. I don't have any tooth pain. Apparently, you can feel cavities. That's the thing. Like, if I felt tooth pain that needed to be fixed, yeah, I would go get it fixed. But I feel like in today's day and age, this is like my feel on the situation. I don't have any concrete proof to back it up. I think dentists are there to point out problems that you otherwise wouldn't notice so that they can then profit on it.
Yeah. A little bit of a placebo.
Exactly.
You're not totally wrong and they play it up, but if there are problems.
Well, yeah, teeth are their whole life. That's what they do. They care about.
That's their thing?
Yeah,
that's their thing.
So, like, if they see a slight imperfection, they're going to tell you should probably fix that slight imperfection.
Well, unless you're Theo, then they're going to get you in 4 or 5 times a week to do God knows what. Theo Dorsey at the dentist for the 15th time. I'm not even kidding. I think the 4th time since 2026 has started.
I got to,
I have to go back. I know I have filled in for him 2 times because of dental appointments. This is the 3rd time. So I don't know. I know that for a fact. 3. And I'm pretty sure there's been more.
Yeah, I'm looking in message search keyword dentist, and I've counted
a lot.
I've got 4 here.
Whew.
That's too many. That's far too many.
That's 3 too many for
and that's
2-month
not
period.
including just word of mouth conversations that happen that involve the dentist.
That is Theo's reasoning consistently. What a waste of time, Theo. Oh God, he's got a sleeping bag at the dentist. Jeez. Well,
you think he has a punch card?
You go 5 times, you get the next time 25% off.
Yeah.
Jeez. You don't need to go to the dentist 4 times in a month, but if you are feeling any sort of pains, places you do need to go if you're actually having physical pain, orthopedics, you got to go to Baptist Health Orthopedic Care because it is the pro-level orthopedic care at Baptist Health. That's from sports injuries to everyday aches. Our expert team delivers the same advanced care trusted by the pros. Get back to the life and the activities that you love. Learn more at baptisthealth.net/ortho, baptisthealth.net/ortho. Theo is MIA, but we got Christian Catt, Colin Russo filling in on Theoretically Speaking. We got Evan Cohen, the host of Unsportsmanlike. You hear him from 6 to 10 weekdays on these very stations and on ESPN2, ESPNU, who's counting. On the other side of things, stay tuned for that. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
The 2 p.m. hour is presented by the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Teeing off February 25th at PGA National. Get your tickets today at thecognizantclassic.com.
Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike here. I love being a fan in West Palm, mostly because I get plenty of time to think about our teams while I'm stuck on I-95. Nothing like traffic and heartbreak to make you feel alive. Stick around, ESPN 106.3 gets it.
Hey everybody, it's Cade Chumsland. Every week, Land Rover Palm Beach supports local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community by naming a Player of the Week. This year, $35,000 will be awarded to student athletes and their schools. Tune in to ESPN West Palm High School Game Day every Friday night as I unveil this week's featured athlete. If you have a great performance that I need to know about, DM us at ESPN West Palm. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond.
This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including EVCO, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
Looking for a meaningful way to connect this February? Mental Health America of the Palm Beaches invites you to share the love all month long. Join them for sweet treats and community connection at the Fern Street Clubhouse in West Palm Beach, Friday, February 13th from noon to 2, or the Glades Clubhouse in Belle Glade, Thursday, February 19th from 11 to 1. Support local mental health programs with a pink banana smoothie from the Field of Greens. $1 from every smoothie gives back. Learn more on the Mental Health America of the Palm Beaches Facebook page.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Jeff Bowden, Executive Principal and leader of Anshin's Tax Department.
The One Big Beautiful Bill Act creates powerful new planning opportunities for high net worth individuals and business owners. The new tax legislation permanently increases the estate and gift tax exemption to $15 million per person, restores full expensing for domestic R&D costs, updates the Opportunity Zone and qualified small business stock provisions, and includes other changes that will impact businesses and individuals. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we help clients understand the intricacies of the bill and develop a plan tailored to meet their goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner looking to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
Hey, it's Tina. Okay, let's be real. When you need tires or a battery, you want someone you can actually trust, right? That's why I go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been keeping South Florida moving for over 50 years, and they're still family owned. They've got all the big tire brands, plus batteries for pretty much everything. Their best price out the door guarantee means you know you're getting the best deal. So next time your car needs something, don't stress. Just go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. Trust me, they've got you covered.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Close but no cigar. No Theo Dorsey today. He's at the dentist for the 11th time in 2026. It is Colin Russo filling in on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. We got Christian Cat behind the glass. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, having a grand old time on a Wednesday, the 11th of February, 2026. Well, if you're an early riser and you get in the car, you turn on the radio on 106.3, you can hear this man hosting Unsportsmanlike alongside Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. You can also see it on ESPN2 and ESPNU. It is Mr. Evan Cohen joining us now. Let's get to it.
Because 4 hours a day just isn't enough. The Don of ESPN West Palm checks in from the mothership to criticize LeBron, daydream about Duffy's award-winning wings, and call Machine Gun Kelly a genius. From the Evan Cohen Memorial Studios, it's more Evan Cohen on ESPN 106.3.
That it is. It is more Evan Cohen on ESPN 106.3. Evan, I feel like every time I fill in, you're always jumping on. How are you today? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm really thrilled about that, Colin. It's always the number one person I want to speak to in life. Let's be honest. Waking up in the middle of the night the other night, and I'm half asleep because I wake up at 3:40 in the morning being told off by Colin Russo on text message for something I have nothing to do with. I wake up in the morning, and I'll just get right into it. Colin is telling me off in my sleep about Adam Silver and NBA tanking as if I called the Utah. Hey, Will Hardy, how you doing? I'm a Heat fan. I'd like Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. not to play the fourth and then beat my damn team, no less. Oh, God. Hello, Colin.
First of all, I was surprised because I didn't realize. I didn't know who to go to for this because I can't go to Christian with this. I knew Evan was at least in tune with what's going on with the Heat, and I was watching that. I mean, I didn't have the FanDuel Sports Network, but I was following the entire game cast, waiting for Bryce Sensabaugh and Cody Williams to sub out of the game in favor of Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson to no avail for the entire fourth quarter. And Will Hardy goes postgame, and he has nothing to do. He's not the culprit. Going postgame saying, I was never even considering putting Markkanen in. And then leave it to the Heat with Bam Adebayo saying postgame, we got to beat a team that doesn't want to win. That's the bottom line.
You don't say, Bam.
Yeah, Bam, you know what, Bam? You got a point there. So that's in Miami too. That's down in Miami. But the fact that we've seen this twice, Evan's a huge NBA fan. You're a huge Heat fan. You're in tune with every game. I know you responded to me when you got up at 3 a.m. for the radio for the morning show, and you got back to me and you essentially said you're like, well, like it's the NBA. You're looking for the bad, and you're basically trying to like alleviate the situation. Well, I think this is as bad as it gets in terms of NBA PR. Go ahead,
Colin. Two things can be true. I could agree with you, but also not want to hear from you. So those two things can be true. And I'm going to tell you why. Because let me check my text message. Did you text me after the Heat beat Oklahoma City earlier this season? You did not? Did you text me on Sunday when I watched the entire game against the Wizards and Spo all of a sudden realized, that 7-1 guy who we drafted in the first round, he's not bad. Put him in there. Let's go. Right? You don't text me after the good. You only text me after the bad. Now, period, next sentence. We won't focus on the beef between you and I, at least for now. But we can focus on what has become a major issue in sports. I would say it's the second biggest issue in sports right now, behind that Olympian admitting to cheating on his girlfriend post-race, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Please help.
Yeah, seriously. We talked about that a ton this morning. I probably should have done the obligatory, and it was the right thing to do. Maybe somebody should help this guy. Like, I probably should have said that, because that's just weird, right? I'm not advocating cheating. I'm also not advocating throwing the person you're cheating on under the bus on a public stage like that.
Right. You're an Olympian. You're an Olympic gold medalist, or you finish, you place, and if she's not taking you back just because you admit to it in a worldwide audience, I don't think anybody's going to watch it. Boy, what a great idea. You know what? Get on back here. Like, no woman would ever think that in their entire life. I agree. That was a terrible move.
So this is my issue with what's happening with the NBA. It happens every year. You could probably go look back at some of your shows from this week, last year, whether it's theoretically speaking, Russo and Rizzo, and Sportsmanlike, whatever it is. And it's the same thing about the NBA bashing. What the NBA does, and they do it poorly, is they put a target on their back every year the week after the Super Bowl. Because inevitably, it's the week leading into All-Star game. It's past the halfway mark. It's past the trade deadline. We enter into tanking season, and we enter into rest season. None of those things are okay, but they can be morally and legally hidden. What the NBA needs to do, and I put this out there on Twitter and said it on our show today on Sportsmanlike, they need to change the calendar to avoid people like Colin Russo to care about this. Because let's be honest, if this happened 2 weeks ago, you wouldn't have cared. And the way in which this needs to happen is they need to put the All-Star game and All-Star week in between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. This week, so let's just do it like as if it's this year, right? So Denver and New England play. All right, that's done. Seattle beats the Rams. That's done. That next week, NBA All-Star week. Okay? You're half paying attention to it. Super Bowl happens on that Monday, which is 2 days ago. We enter into trade deadline week. Trade deadline is Thursday. The next week, we then have the in-season tournament in Vegas, and you take, maybe it's not all 30 teams, maybe it's the top 16, like as if it's the playoffs, and we do some sort of tournament. We prevent people who look at the NBA for the first time all year. I know you're a great sports fan, but let's be honest. You're basically looking at the NBA for the first time all year this week when they put their worst product on the floor. It's on them. They've made a terrible decision here. The tanking is inexcusable, the way the Jazz are, etc. But they also let you notice it in a way as if they're trying to let you notice it, which is stupid.
I understand what you're saying in terms of
That's
the
a bunch of
timing
good points. Be fair. A bunch of good points.
The one thing I would add is the NBA wants absolutely nothing to do with the NFL. Even if it's between conference championship week and the Super Bowl, they're going to avoid that entirely because they want celebrities and stars such as Evan Cohen to be thinking about the All-Star break to perhaps go to the All-Star game when they're all prepping to go to the Super Bowl for Radio Row week. That's another thing you got to consider.
Well, okay, but why not acknowledge the obvious, which is we NBA not as good as the NFL. Let's piggyback. Guess what?
You want to go to the same place?
Well, you put it in LA this year. The Super Bowl's in San Francisco. You pop in one, you then go to the other. You're flying.
So wait till they announce where the Super Bowl host city is going to be and just piggyback and take that
Play
spot
it out.
or somewhere
Play it
new.
out. No, let's go. Play it out. Give me a.
So
Super
they got
Bowl.
a Super Bowl in Tampa at Raymond James. Then they're going to have the All-Star weekend the week before in Orlando.
Or in Miami.
I understand, but
That's
the NBA
actually,
and
I didn't even
NFL,
think that. It's one of the greatest ideas I've ever had in my life. I got to be honest.
You had the idea. I mean,
I
this is a
did.
collaborative process.
Yeah.
Point being, I agree with you that this is as bad as it gets for the NBA. I think a couple things come into this. Yes, is this a new concept in the NBA? Absolutely not. Have I seen it this egregious outside of players sitting out entire games? I don't remember the last time I have with blatantly bad teams.
Well,
Kings
the
other
one
night.
that everybody goes to, and it's not a blatantly bad team, which I had no issue with. It was one of the most entertaining games I've ever seen in the regular season. Was the Spurs game against the Heat,
right?
When Pop sat out everybody when they came to Miami. But I always thought that was strategy more than resting. I thought he realized, you know what? I'm going to see these guys again. They are so good. I can't even give them a look. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was in 2014. Was the fourth year of the finals for the Heat. The Spurs ended up winning that year. If I'm getting my math right.
Yes.
And Nando DeFino, Nando is his first name, something like that. There's one guy who's a broadcaster, Nando DeFino, and Nando DeColo. I don't know which one it was. This guy Nando was the point guard for the Spurs, and they almost beat the Heat that night. It was unbelievably entertaining, and I think in many ways that's different than what we're seeing. So, for example, no one listening to ESPN West Palm should care at all about a Kings Jazz game tonight. No one. We should never talk about that. But let me see if I can interest you in how ridiculous this is.
It's ridiculous. The amount of
Sacramento
players
Kings, who have lost 13 games in a row. Again, no one cares. But just conceptually, they're sitting out, I think, their top 6 players tonight. And the Utah Jazz play their best players until the fourth quarter and then remove them from the game. You have 2 teams playing a game in professional sports tonight that are both trying to lose. That's a problem.
It's a problem. And the thing is, you're under the impression, hey, it's post-trade deadline. This is going to continue. And I think one fact that you got to consider and you got to take into this is, I'll say it now, I'm very in tune with what's going on with college basketball. This is going to be one of, if not the best draft class in the history of the NBA. In the history of the NBA, in terms of depth, there are 10 guys today that if you pluck them out of the university and put them, they could start an NBA team and score 15 a night. That is how good this draft class is, and I think that these teams are making note of that, and they all want a piece of the pie, 1 through 4, whatever you want to call it. So I think that has something to do with it. And I think the fact is that we're seeing this, and there's almost nothing the NBA can do right now because it's not the NBA's decision to determine rotations. But I think there has to be some sort of board or some sort of regulation process where they could determine whether a team was uncompetitive, anti-competitive in a game, and therefore they could do something about it. In my opinion, if the Jazz keep doing this, I would strip them of their draft pick. They got 1 through 8 protected, and if they don't get it, they go to OKC. Get rid of it. That's how you kill the head of the snake.
I get it.
That's my personal opinion. That's the only thing Adam Silver could do. But he's too worried about being friends with all the players and friends with all the guys in front offices. He wants to go up and he wants to dap up Danny Ainge at All-Star Weekend and have no problems. And instead of being a commissioner who works for the owners for the betterment of the league for the fans, he won't do that. And I think that's a major problem.
It's interesting that your DAP example is Adam Silver and Danny Ainge. Those 2 guys feel like a shake hands more than a DAP. I don't see Adam Silver and Danny Ainge dapping.
Yeah, Danny Ainge, hold on. Danny Ainge played for the 80s Celtics.
He's not a dapper.
Yeah, Utah, yes.
No,
even though it's Utah and it's Mormon country, he absolutely
Shake hands.
And
not a
Adam
dapper.
Silver is, I can promise you that.
Adam Silver is a dapper. But you think that he's probably better suited shaking hands. Let's rewind for a second. So this is now, let's take this big picture. We've given the people the specifics of the absurdity of a professional sports game tonight where 2 teams openly want to lose playing against each other. That's utterly absurd. You've given the perspective of the unbelievable draft. We get it. Okay. Now let's rewind. Number 1 sport in our country right now is
football.
Okay. And specifically the NFL. I would argue that there is a clear line of delineation between the NFL owners / commissioner and players, employer and employee. For better or worse, however you want to look at it, but it is
owners got a lot of power. They got more power than the player does. Yes.
Okay. When was the NBA at its peak?
Back in the 80s and 90s, maybe,
90s.
and not the 2000s. And then once LeBron got in there, maybe the early 2010s with Steph Curry. Those are the best 3 periods.
I would say 90s for me. Okay.
That's when they had the best ratings. That's when it was the biggest league. It was bigger than the NFL. That's it.
Ratings only matter if money comes in with it. There's more money now, less ratings, so it doesn't matter. But I'm saying the peak of the sport for me was 90s. Employer, employee. David Stern had rules, and the employees, the players, had to follow them. What Adam Silver has done, I think, is admirable. He said, how do we all work in coordinates, in partnership with each other as equals? That is the way the world, in theory, can work in some cases. But there also needs to be, with any business, a clear line of power of who's in charge and how to set rules. Silver, I believe, and I love Adam Silver in terms of all of his morals and ethics and ideas and things like that. I believe what he's doing is he's going to ultimately put himself in jeopardy of the sport hurting, because I think he needs either someone next to him or someone else has to decide to provide rules. You just gave the Jazz thing. That you can't just do that unilaterally. That doesn't happen that way. You can't just remove a draft pick. Also, by the way, let's bring it back to my team that I root for. What happened with Terry Rozier and them getting screwed was unfathomable, that the league and the Hornets knew he was being investigated and didn't tell the Heat when they traded for him. Right? There's something wrong with that. Oh, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. No, Terry Rozier, he should get the benefit of the doubt in court, not in the NBA.
And he also, another one to add to that is they haven't talked a thing. They've let the dust collect on the Kawhi Leonard situation, getting paid under the table by Steve Ballmer, which they completely pushed to the side and has not been a big deal.
It will be, but it's not right this second. So the point is, the two best examples of when the two sports we're talking about this week, the NBA and NFL, were at their best when there was a clear line. Someone in charge, someone following a good leader.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
There's
Silver
something
is
missing there.
The LeBron is the biggest component of that entire league. Still is to this day. He's the biggest draw. Him and Steph Curry, if they wanted to today, if they wanted to say make the hoop 12 feet, Adam Silver will listen. That's the amount of power that those two have in the NBA. They are bigger than any owner, and they're bigger than the commissioner. That is just the brand in which they've created, and that is the power structure that has been laid out by Evan and by Adam Silver, evidently. I agree with you that Silver doesn't necessarily have, in my opinion, the spine to do that, because he's already set the relationship dynamic.
No, but you would be changing who you are. You would be changing who you are.
You'd be changing you'd be changing. The first thing he did, you're right. You said the ethics. The first thing Adam Silver did, his first big win, was the Donald Sterling situation.
And he made the right move.
Absolutely the right move. It was 3 weeks in. He put the hammer down, Sterling out. All right. And then
that's the stuff that I love. I wish we could have, and I don't mean to interrupt, Colin, but I wish we could have both. And that's probably why Silver and Stern were a good team, because Silver was probably saying, let's be inclusive, let's be open-minded, let's be progressive, while Stern said, hey, you're not going to fight with people on my watch. You're suspended for God knows how long. No, you're going to wear a suit to the game. Now, I'm not saying that's appropriate or not appropriate. I'm not here to judge that. I'm saying it's an example of a rule that he was willing to put in.
And on top of that, it was when the NBA was a business model. He's thinking, I'm trying to maximize my business model, the best way to make money, globalize the brand. He did all that, which is what Silver's trying to do, trying to globalize the NBA, make the players, as big as they possibly can worldwide, and they are as big as they possibly are worldwide. But the fact is that there is an 82-game stretch where they play it. It's whether you want to call too many games or not. They play 82 games, then 2/3 of the team in the entire league get into the playoffs. That's problem number one. And then after that, you have the bottom 10 who don't get competing for that, are trying to lose games on purpose in favor of draft selections.
9 of them are. Pelicans are not, because they don't have their pick. But the fact that I know that,
right?
The fact that I have that literally sitting next to me in my notes, because that's a problem in itself. As you're talking here, I used some of these examples on our show this morning about Silver and about David Stern, may rest in peace, who was a guest many times with us on ESPN West Palm on our show with Jamar tonight. Did you know that? You did not. Local show, West Palm.
You think Silver would come on with us now? You think he'd?
No,
I do
not. I would not. No. Theo, I would. Not with the two of you. No. You guys.
That'd be a one and done, as they call it. That'd be a one and done. You get him once.
But I just thought of something. I don't know why I hadn't thought of this earlier. Most powerful conference in college sports.
The SEC.
Greg Sankey is in charge.
Yeah.
You know
No
what
doubt
I'm
about
saying?
that.
It's almost like success equals someone in charge with rules.
The one thing about it, college sports is not the best example because off the court, on the field, it's fantastic. But off the field is where there's a plethora of issues with eligibility and paying players.
Well, the Alabama basketball thing is a total mess
total mess. And that's Sankey. And Sankey played both sides until he realized that the judge was going to temporarily get that out of there. The professional
I didn't realize this in the beginning. We talked about this morning, and when the judge who allows a professional player to play college basketball is one of the boosters who defends Alabama players.
He was a booster. And it was a temporary restraining order.
This is Colin Russo all of a sudden making a decision. You know what, J.J. Watt? You're eligible to come back to Wisconsin. Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. And Nate Oates is coming out, who's the head coach of Alabama basketball, coming out and saying, well, what about all the professional European players who are coming from overseas and playing for all these college teams? Well, did they go play college, go back and play professionally in Europe, and then try again when the Europe thing didn't work out?
I want to know, does LeBron have eligibility?
Yes, he has eligibility. But based by the rules, yes. You just got to find
where's LeBron going to play next year? He's going to play
a judge who's a LeBron fan. Find a judge with a Laker jersey in his closet.
Can you imagine that? We're all sitting here. Where is he going to play? He's going to leave the Lakers. Guys, I'm going to USC.
Going to USC. Going to play at Ohio State, and Ohio State makes the tournament. That's what we have. So Evan Cohen with us now, the host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN 106.3, filling in for Theo Dorsey. It is Colin Russo. Evan, so let's play this out. We talked about what Silver could do, the ethics of it all, his tenure as the commissioner of the NBA. What do you think he should do? If there is a short-term, long-term fix, it seems like Adam Silver is more interested in the bells and whistles around the real problems. He wants the NBA Cup. He wants All-Star Weekend. He wants headlines with that. Shams Charania. You don't think Adam Silver is in Shams Charania's ear saying, hey, publicize, make this the biggest trade deadline ever. Say this is going to be the biggest summer in the NBA's history in terms of off-season signings. This is all stuff that Silver puts through all of the
that one I would say no. That's where I would disagree with you. He's not kidding. He's not calling Shams and saying, here's what I want you to say. No chance in hell.
Not he's telling him what to say, but I do think there are back channels in the sense that play up this Giannis thing. Try to make it a big story. We'll see if we could get something from it. I think that is a positive NBA story that he is trying to outshadow the anti. To make a long story short, Adam Silver, let's say you're Adam Silver for the day. If you were to logically and capably punish this situation, levy the situation, figure out a way to fix the anti-competitiveness surrounding the regular season and this specific this tanking, what would you do?
Okay, so just not to get to semantics here. Me, Evan Cohen, as the commissioner, or if I'm Adam Silver?
If you're Adam Silver. I don't think you're going to be the NBA commissioner anytime soon. I hate to break it to you.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to refrain. I'm going to refrain from a retort because there's so many things that I was going to take shots at you. Adam, I'll be professional. Because Adam Silver is still trying to appease the players, which in this case would not be my number one goal. My goal would be to explain to the player, if it was me, would be to explain to the players why what I'm going to do, you're not going to like today, but you will like tomorrow. He's not doing that, right? He's doing what can we all agree upon? I think the easiest, simplest fix, twofold. Change the calendar as I suggested, and then loosen the restrictions around these second aprons to recreate super teams. Super teams are good for the NBA, not bad for the NBA. Because you don't care if the Jazz and the Kings are tanking, if Steph, Clay, Draymond, and KD are on the same team. If LeBron, Wade, and Bosh are going for another title. See, here's where people get it twisted. The NFL likes to tell you they have parity. That is the most ridiculous thing in the world. The NFL has one team.
It's a dynasty-ridden league.
Hold on. They had the Patriots for 20 years. They had the Chiefs for 10 years. Numbers went down this year in the Super Bowl. Why is that? Because we actually had the version of parity, even though it was the Pats. It's not that Pats team, right? We had where are the Chiefs? Where are the Bills? Where are the Ravens?
Familiarity sells, yeah.
Yeah. And so the reality is, in this specific case, I think that the NBA needs to find a way to get rid of the parity. The idea of 7 champions in 7 years is horrible for the NBA. I don't think that's good at all. The NBA is at their best when they have dominant teams. Get rid of the second apron stuff. Get back to the fact that we could have the power teams, the super teams, and redo the schedule so when people start to notice, you're at your best, not at your worst.
So you're trying, but ultimately what I'm hearing is you, again, want to overshadow the problem with the good of the league. That's what you're saying. And the
Well,
NBA
the reason I asked
is not good enough. It's not good enough to outshadow the bad. Is that what I'm hearing?
The reason I asked the question initially, where you took the nasty shot at me about me not being the commissioner of the league, is because I have to think as Adam Silver. And Adam Silver has proven that he's not going to sit there and say to these players, I'm going to fine you up the wazoo, I'm going to suspend you like crazy, and I'm going to make your life miserable until you do your job. He won't do that. Won't do that.
What about getting rid of the lottery?
Then you're going to have more tanking, aren't you? And I don't the other thing I don't like.
People want a chance at the 1 pick. That's what they see the Mavericks. They see the Spurs from last year when the Mavericks moved up 10 selections from when they were projected.
But
I think that adds to the pool.
Here's the other idea that's been out there that I'm uncomfortable with because I think it's backwards a little bit. There's been this idea that, all right, you pick a point in the season. And then you pick, I'm making this up. Let's just say it's today, February 11th. The rest of the season, you're combining losses in the first half with wins in the second half for the number 1 pick. So in other words, you get to choose. Basically, you're trying to win as many games down the stretch you can get to the number 1 pick. Right. So in the Jazz scenario,
when they get eliminated, you have to win games in order to get an opportunity. But that's the one negative I don't like about that is they're truly bad teams. And some people say this is Sacramento. I don't know if I agree with that completely, but some people say this is Sacramento. You really hurt the teams that truly cannot win games.
Well, but that's the thing is you don't want to put those teams on the floor. The problem with that is then you're asking these people to play their butts off to replace themselves.
True.
You're asking a player. It's not the Heat, but let's just use the Heat names. You're saying to Bam, work your butt off to get AJ DeBansta, who, if he's as good as you, to play that's a power forward at a BYU, then maybe the Heat could trade you one day. Like what? Why would I want to do that?
Do you think now to switch gears to the same point? Do you think there's something to the fact that the players make too much money, too much guaranteed money? There's no incentive laden to the contract. All NFL contracts outside of quarterbacks are incentive laden. Do you think the fact is that the players have their money and they're sort of done with it has something to do with not only the players not playing hard, which is a problem in and of itself, but on top of that, it creates they're comfortable. It's a comfort level because they make
per game. You want a per game?
A per game, you have remember. I thought the 65 game minimum rule for all NBA and trophies. I thought that was a great move. I thought that was a great move. Some players don't like it. Get hurt. Miss 3 weeks. All of a sudden you're out of it. But I think it's a good move. I think incentivizing players stepping on the court and incentivizing that in their contracts will ultimately long-term create a consistency of guys showing up because they have to play for it. You want to financially incentivize a guy making $74 million a year with the All-Star break. Here's $500,000 for Devin Booker if you play hard.
You have to do that. I'll tell you how to do that just from a math and employer perspective, I would think. Guarantee a floor, increase the ceiling based on games played. In other words, let's use Bam. Bam's making $40 million. Well, Bam, you're guaranteed 20, but every game you play after 65, you actually could make 50 instead of 40.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Where you actually
just needs more contract. That there's something there. I think that would actually help.
That's very difficult because remember, you have to match money in trades. So how do you do that? There's so many things that are so inside that we would get into here. The problem is this is the topic every year this week.
But it's as bad as it's ever been because of this draft class. People wanted to go get flagged fair, but people weren't talking about the 2 through 12 of that lottery last year. This draft class is going to change teams and change a lot of teams. So that's why I do think that this is part of why these teams are doing it. I think it honestly, it was pretty disgusting, if I may be frank, about how the Jazz handled that Heat game despite them winning. It serves them right. There's karma for you.
Colin, play out my scenario. Trade deadlines this week. You're not talking about what we're saying, right? Wait. Then
I think you're downplaying the fact that I would know if the Jazz were tanking because they just got Jaren Jackson.
They wouldn't have made the trade. And so then what you do is you do the pre-playoff thing, where you basically say, all right, in-season tournament is not a few months ago. In-season tournament is the week after the trade deadline. Top 16 overall play a little mini tournament for $1 million each next week. So then the tanking, your version of tanking was not starting until 3 weeks from now when we're in the mix of college basketball and we take the attention away from it. February, in essence, should be the NBA's month, except they display the worst versions of themselves. I'm saying get the best version of themselves out there in February.
You think the
That's
league?
what I'm saying.
Do you think the regular season needs to be shorter?
Yeah, but they're not going to do it from a money perspective.
Would never do it. Would never do it.
Why
There's
would you?
people that argue it. There's people that argue it. I don't know if it's the solution, but you can't tell me that 70.
Most
These
people are
guys
not going to voluntarily make things shorter. If it were me, I'd take ESPN West Palm 4 to 6, make it a little shorter. If it was me,
The bottom line is the players make too much money. I think that's the root of the problem. They make too much.
No,
money.
but that's ridiculous. I'm never going to say the players make too much money.
Yes,
That's
they do.
crazy.
Evan, they make way too much
No,
money.
Colin.
I went through DeAndre Hunter's contract the other day for the Sacramento. He makes $26 million a year. He would be one of the highest paid defensive players in the league in the NBA.
But it's not about. There's 53 guys versus 17 with 15 plus 2 ways. Here's the reality. Here's the reality.
I'm just saying.
Stephanie Prince and Brian Rowitz pay you a salary, okay? If you said, I'll do one show a week, they shouldn't pay you the same damn salary. And that's the problem. It's not how much they make. It's that they're willing. But how is it even allowed? And the other thing is, everybody wants to talk about load management. Has anyone pointed out that maybe not playing as much gets you hurt more? Not the other way? I mean, you're in unbelievable physical condition. You do all the triathlons, whatever. I'm not in the condition you are. Ironman, whatever. I run every day. If I stopped running, it would not be as easy for me to run. Breaking news. But because I run every day, it's much easier for me to do a couple of miles here and there.
Yeah, the thing is, we've hit 1,000 points. I think we're right on mostly all of them. I think the fact is that it's all
You're very
guaranteed.
humble. You've never been wrong, to be fair. So just ask me.
Evan, you can say goodbye to the NBA commissioner. You won't get my vote if you ever come up on the election.
No, but you love silver. You love silver.
Silver is by far not even close to the worst commissioner in sports. I mean, geez, I know everybody likes him, but come on, he does not know how to run a
Two
business model.
Two things can be true. He could have the heart of gold, and the right empathetic way of going about life.
And those generally aren't the best business leaders. You got to keep that in mind.
That's true.
Like most guys, you got to have a killer instinct. And I don't think we talk about that. We talk about players all the time. Oh, he's a great guy. He's in the community. Like he's a good player, but he doesn't have a killer instinct. That to me is silver.
Canty says on the air all the time. And Chris Canty, co-host with us, of course, Michelle Swam and me, Chris Canty on Sportsmanlike, 6 to 10
ESPN
here on
too.
Yeah.
And ESPN to you as well.
Have you? I don't remember if you've met Canty. Have you met Canty ever?
I've had him on once. I had him on when he was at the Super Bowl last year.
Okay. He is as nice and kind as could be, right? 11-year NFL veteran, Virginia, husband, dad, just amazing guy, right? So I'm setting this up because somebody say, oh, choir boy, right? He says all the time, you need a couple of guys on your team to win that have a rap sheet. He said, you just need a couple of not everyone. You can't have a 53-man roster. He goes, but you need a couple of psychopaths on your team to win, right? So maybe Adam Silver is too good of a guy to run a sport. Maybe that's what it is.
All the greats are a little crazy.
You seem normal.
You got to be a little crazy. Al Pacino is crazy. Al Pacino's nuts. That's why he's a great actor. Evan,
wait, so based on that assessment,
yes,
ESPN West Palm host Mike Rizzo 1, Colin Russo 2, Theo Dorsey 25. Theo's as nice and as kind as could be. You two are nut jobs.
Did you see that Mike Rizzo made a comparison to himself that he's Scottie Pippen of The Office? Did you hear about that?
Well, I don't understand that because I got sources close to me. I don't want to name names who reached out as this was happening because that'd be rude to say to John O'Terry while he did that. But that he said so. Riz is J.R. Smith.
We made a player comp, comparison of people in The Office, and Rizzo was our J.R. Smith.
Why is that a bad thing? The guy won a championship.
He had a great career. He had a 15-year career. He played a 15-year personality.
And everyone thought he was crazy until they got to know him, and they're like, "Oh, he's actually a really good dude." Goes back to college to be a golfer. Is everyone says J.R. Smith is the smartest, kindest, nicest guy who had a great career. Why would Riz be bothered by that?
He was very bothered, and he wanted Scottie Pippen, who
Riz,
is a difficult personality to deal with. Is Scottie Pippen? I think everybody knows that.
Well, you're talking about one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, you got to start. You can't start with Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean, that is literally and figuratively with Scottie Pippen Jr.
Evan, really quick here. We don't have a lot of time, but were you
We've
crestfallen
been
on
on for
Sunday?
100 hours. What do you mean a lot of time? Go ahead.
Are you crestfallen after what happened on Sunday, or did you almost make peace with it going into the game?
I mean, I would be a moron to sit here and say that the Patriots, like, oh, they got screwed. They should have won. They were the better team. They were not the better team in any way, shape, or form. Seattle was significantly better. And Coach Belichick says it forever, and people laugh at it all three phases. That's why Seattle won. I could make the argument that Seattle won because of their punter as much as anything else. He was that good.
Their special teams is great. Yeah.
Unbelievable special teams, every phase of it, right? Rashid Shaheed, all-time great in-season acquisition. You never really see that in the NFL. Phenomenal in-season trade by the one Hall of Famer that came at us Sunday night. John Schneider, the general manager, is the guy who got into the Hall of Fame off that game on Sunday night. So Shaheed was great. The punter was great. Jason Myers, the kicker, was great. The defense is the best in the league. And Darnold showed me something because I think game manager is a compliment, not an insult. I wasn't sure that Darnold could manage the game, and he did. Because I know watching the Patriots, all 17 games, every playoff game, every snap, every year, what they were doing, because they did it against Denver and it worked, they were waiting for the other team to make a mistake. Let the other team beat themselves in that. And Seattle never did. New England goes home losers.
Take their points. They took their points constantly. You knew that wouldn't be a problem going in, and with a defensive-minded head coach like McDonald, I completely agree. Yeah, 100%. You didn't have Sean Payton or Ben Johnson hijacking the game with, turnover.
Oh, the fourth downs. It's too many times.
Oh, I've been so down on this. I've been so down on Ben Johnson.
The punt is the secret biggest weapon. I am all Belichick all the time. I understand that. You know why? Because he's right. When he is so conscious of a lefty punter to pin someone back coffin corner because it changes field position, if you don't think Seattle won because they didn't go for it on fourth down, you weren't watching the game. The Seattle field position on the punting was so important in that game. Even on the line drive quick kick that the guy had, he pinned it inside the 5. You got to stop going for it on every fourth down. Think about for a second field position and plan into a good defense, which Seattle obviously has.
Right. And on top of that, people complain about the kickoffs. Oh, they got 35-yard line. It's too easy to score. Well, punt, and you could pin them in the 5 if you play your cards right.
That's right. Let's be honest. We did a horrible job here. In one half-hour thing, we talked about the Sacramento Kings, Utah Jazz, and punting. We should both be off the air.
No, Evan, please. Very, very conscious of what's going on. That Jazz Heat game was a disgrace, and that Jazz King game is going to be fascinating.
You're the disgrace for blaming me on a late-night text as if I am the one who pulled Markkanen and Jaren Jackson off the floor.
Disgrace. I knew you're the only one who had a tune with it with the Miami Heat.
No, JMP, of ESPN West Palm fame, JMP texted me. I got to find the text. In the middle of the night, he texted me, pathetic. He did a one-word, pathetic.
Bryce Sansabaugh. Taking down the Miami Heat.
Pathetic. That's what JMP gave me. That's it.
Evan, we appreciate it. We'll close things out. Looking forward to talking again next time Theo goes to the dentist.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan Cohen, the host of Unsports from 6 to 10 a.m. You can hear that weekdays right here on ESPN 106.3. Just in a couple weeks, it is back with some of the PGA Tour's best at the Cognizant Classic. Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches returns to PGA National Resort and Spa. PGA Tour, it's back in Palm Beach. It's a can't-miss week. You got a bunch of big names coming right up north here in Palm Beach Gardens. Two kids get in free with a ticketed adult. See the PGA stores like Brooks Koepka, Shane Lowry will be there, Adam Scott, Jake Knapp's going to be there. They have the iconic Bear Trap, where one of golf's toughest stretches of holes, where the fans are rowdy and the energy is high. There's plenty of fan activations with local food vendors and signature cocktails. Get your experiences today at the Bear Trap, with a view of the 16 green and the 17. It includes all drinks and food included. That's beer, wine, non-alcoholic beverages. Go get it today. Tickets are on sale now at thecognizantclassic.com. Colin Russo, Christian Catt, filling in for Theo Dorsey. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet, the home of Inter Miami, the Florida Panthers, and the Miami Heat, with all of the biggest live events in sports. If it's happening in sports, it's happening right here on ESPN 106.3, South Florida's home for sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Anna Jar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli. And
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's has voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
West Palm Beach, get ready. Car buying just got a whole lot better at Greenway Kia West Palm Beach.
We're open at 7 a.m. Shop early, beat the crowds, and stay on your schedule.
Prefer a female sales professional? Just ask.
Our experienced women make sure you feel comfortable and confident every step of the way.
Every new Kia comes with full invoice pricing, the real numbers right up front.
No games, no surprises.
No time to come in? We bring the test drive to you. Greenway Kia West Palm Beach. Open early, priced right, built around you.
The James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational returns March 6th through the 8th at the iconic Old Course at Broken Sound in Boca Raton. Watch NFL greats like Calvin Johnson, Lawrence Taylor, and returning champion Tim Brown compete with PGA Champions Tour stars including Ernie Els, Darren Clark, and two-time major champion Zach Johnson, who's making his PGA Champions Tour debut. Tickets start at just $36. Get yours now at JamesHardyInvitational.com. This is more than a tournament, it's the home of legends.
Attention business owners, the next several months are going to be super busy. Why not let us take some of the burden off of you? Get the help you need from Intelligent Office in Palm Beach Gardens. Professional live receptionists to answer, screen, and forward all of your calls to you live. Why do you need a virtual assistant? No high salaries, no holidays or sick pay, no call-outs, no turnover, and no additional equipment. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to learn more how we can help you streamline your day.
It's Tina. You know how important it is to keep your car running. And when it comes to my car, I only trust St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been taking care of South Florida for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. Need new tires? They've got all the big brands. Battery issues? They've got it. Cars, trucks, boats, RVs, and even commercial fleets. And if you ever get stuck, their 24/7 roadside emergency service is a total lifesaver. Go see my friends at St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. They'll keep you going.
Looking for a meaningful way to connect this February? Mental Health America of the Palm Beaches invites you to share the love all month long. Join them for sweet treats and community connection at the Fern Street Clubhouse in West Palm Beach, Friday, February 13th from noon to 2, or the Glades Clubhouse in Belle Glade, Thursday, February 19th from 11 to 1. Support local mental health programs with a pink banana smoothie from the Field of Greens. $1 from every smoothie gives back. Learn more on the Mental Health America of the Palm Beaches Facebook page.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
College basketball is heating up and the tournament is almost here. Don't let your home get caught off guard. Get ready now with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the court, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsyes.com today. Stay cool and be ready before the madness hits.
Car buying just leveled up at Greenway Kia West Palm Beach. We're now open at 7 a.m. Shop early, skip the crowds, and get on with your day. No pressure, no nonsense. Just real people who listen, including female sales professionals ready to help. And check this out. The invoice is on every new car. No games, no surprises. No time to stop by? We bring the test drive to you, home or office. Buy the right way at Greenway Kia West Palm Beach. Early, easy, exceptional.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo filling in on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo and Christian Catt. We are at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, having a grand old time here on a midweek edition, the 11th of February 2026. Let's talk about training. Not working out, we're talking about training. You want to feel stronger, faster, more conditioned? F45 West Palm Beach is the place for you. F45, what does it stand for? Functional 45. A 45-minute high-intensity team training session that is designed to build strength, burn fat, improve performance. It's a different workout every single day. You're stepping into a team environment, so it's a bunch of like-minded fitness individuals doing the same thing that you are, and it's that much easier to push to your hardest when other people around you are doing the same. If you're trying to get strength, endurance, trying to stay game ready, F45 West Palm Beach delivers. Get your first 3 classes for $30. That's 3 classes for $30 at F45.com/West Palm Beach. F45 West Palm Beach, team training, life changing. So the Seattle Seahawks, by the way, I saw Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker at Disneyland. I believe in Anaheim.
Yes, they said Disneyland, not Disney World.
Which is the one in Anaheim.
Yeah.
The morning after the Super Bowl. I don't know what contractual obligation forced them to get down to Anaheim from San Francisco overnight. But now they're doing the parade in Seattle. And I'm curious on the amount of numbers that they get, because I was looking through the numbers a couple weeks ago. And I believe the Rams had the lowest by far when they won back in 2022. But Seattle's doing their parade now for the Super Bowl 60, which is a win over the New England Patriots 29-13. And Christian, what do we got from there?
All right, so you've got these guys who are just blackout drunk, coming off of the greatest career achievement in their life. For pretty much everyone on that roster, it's guaranteed. And they're just saying the wildest things. So we're going to try to filter through that and try to find the stuff that we can play on air, including the Super Bowl MVP is Kenneth Walker. And while these guys are on stage addressing their fans,
too.
Kenneth Walker walks up and is it John Schneider is their GM?
That's correct.
John Schneider, also blackout drunk in the middle of the day. They're 3 hours behind us, remember?
Yes.
Takes the stage.
12 o'clock.
Takes the stage and has this to say about a interaction with Kenneth Walker.
Ken Walker being the MVP. Let's go! Woo! He tried negotiating with me 5 minutes ago. It was really weird.
So I mean, if there's a time 2 days after you win Super Bowl MVP to try to negotiate with your GM at the parade, is that a fair or foul move by Ken Walker?
That's fine. I'm okay with that. You got to capital. He definitely wants to stay. The problem is cap hits with running backs in Super Bowl winning teams is traditionally one of the lowest cap hits on the team. Like, the best teams usually have low cap hits for running backs, so I don't know how much money he's looking for, but I assume he wants to stay. He's a very underrated player. Christian, have you ever been to a championship parade?
No, never in my life. The Yankees were the championship in my lifetime I cared the most about in 2009.
You did not go to either of the two Panthers? Panthers.
No, we did not go to either of those two parades.
I was out of town in the one that they won last year. I would have went Fort Lauderdale when it was hot, and the year before that it was pouring rain. But I have not been to a championship parade either. I don't know how I feel about it, because if you're just parked in a spot, it's a bus driving by, so you get 3-4 seconds unless you go to the stage area.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much it entices me.
I'm not the biggest parade person in general, like in all facets of life.
Whether the Macy's Day Parade, we've talked about this.
Yes.
A big component of that.
Exactly. And Thanksgiving, not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of like when you're going to an amusement park in Orlando and they shut down parts of the park for the parade route to go through, whether it be during Halloween time at Universal or at Disney during the holidays. Not a big fan of parades in that aspect either. And I guess I would really have to be tested if the Yankees won a World Series in these next 15, 20 years, whether or not I would fly up to New York to watch that parade in person.
And
I don't think I would.
Also excluding the fact that perhaps you would fly up and go to a game. So you'd fly up, go to a game, unless it's the last game in which they won the whole thing. Yeah. You'd probably be coming back, and then you got to go back up again a week later.
It's true.
So the one thing about it is a New York City team has not won a championship in a long time. So you just got to wonder the logistics of where they would go in New York City for the parade. But that would be a fun one to go to. I don't know how much it entices me, though, because if you're not at the end where all the guys get out and they're running around and they're talking on the mic, then you're just sitting on the route and they whiz by you at 20 miles an hour.
And like,
hey, wait, who was on that? Like,
the best thing that could happen is if you throw a beer to a player that you know and he catches it and drinks. It's like, wow, now it's all worth it.
Now let's go home.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm trying to think of the most famous championship-winning parade. It was probably
Chicago,
the Rangers,
or you talk about for the
New York Rangers in '94.
Okay.
It was the same day as the OJ chase. And the only reason I know that is because of the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary that the Knicks were in the finals that day.
And they cut away from the Knicks to go to the Ford Bronco chase.
Exactly. And it happened on the same day. It's the only reason why I'm making that claim as the most famous.
It was Knicks-Rockets, like Game 5.
Yeah.
And they cut away from it mid-game to go over to the O.J. Simpson chase.
There was a shooting at the Chiefs parade, the most recent Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade, like celebration. There was like shots fired or something, so that made the headlines for that reason. But you don't really remember it that much unless you were there and
Chicago
scared.
Cubs, when they won the World Series after a 108-year drought in 2016, was a massive parade.
Yeah.
Like a monumental, memorable parade. That was probably the biggest one in recent memory.
Okay. Wasn't living in the Midwest at that time, so I guess I don't have that emotional attachment to it.
Neither was I. Yeah.
But like you, you were in Connecticut.
Well before
right?
me. But I do know that I think that one has the record with most people at a parade.
The Philadelphia Eagles, the fact that they celebrate in the streets after the win and then do the parade, it's almost like it takes a little bit of the sheen off of it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's almost like, okay, we already did this thing acting a public nuisance the midnight after the Super Bowl was won, and now we're going to do it again. This time we're going to start drinking at 8 a.m. instead.
It's organized this time around. Yeah, like there's a planned time.
Right. He put the Crisco on the poles, and like that's kind of like that start in Philadelphia is putting the lard on the telephone poles to get people not to climb them.
I don't know if it started there, but it is a focal point of their parades. 888-760-3776. Have you been to a championship parade? And if so, which one was the best one you've been to? Was it any good? Was there a bad one you've went to? I know it was pouring rain at the first Florida Panther one 2 years ago. This time around, it was really hot. So I'm just curious to see if anybody has been to one and if they enjoyed their experience, because I don't think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah,
I would enjoy the nature of, you're out and about. Most people, you're at a bar, you're drinking, like it's like a celebration day.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of let's say if you work in Chicago, there's a good chance if the Bulls win a championship, your boss is going to give off of work.
True.
So that's where it's fun. I know Philly-based companies did that in 2025, but that'd be the only reason that it'd be really fun is if they make it sort of a holiday within the office.
Sure, and you almost if you're not going out of your way to do the parade, like I've never really lived inside the city of where a parade happens. Where it's probably all sunshine and roses in that aspect, where you just got to walk down the street and, oh, wow, the confetti cannons, the fun,
yeah,
whatever.
Commuting into a parade sounds like a waste of time.
That seems like a task.
That seems like a large hurdle for just not a big,
Which, the Panthers help because it's kind of like a very small market in that aspect where it's easier. But you're right. Like commuting in for a parade feels like a very you got to plan all around
Go
it.
to a game at that point. It's a tall task.
It's kind of like I never believed in growing up in New York, not New York City. People would take the train in for St. Patrick's Day, and like it's kind of that day drinking holiday where it's all centered around getting plastered.
Right.
I think you almost liken to that experience where you have to commute on in just a day drink, and instead of celebrating once a year St. Patrick's Day, you're celebrating a maybe once in a lifetime championship for that sports
right.
team.
And it's just, you just know it's going to be a little bit of a mess. It's going to be hectic. You don't make plans. It's one of those things.
Yeah, you can't bank on anything. You're not like, okay, we got to check this box.
You're not promised anything. There's a chance you're not going to get to where you want to get to. You see the person you want to see. I don't know if it'd be for me, but granted, my team's never won championships. UConn won. And I know they almost burned the campus down, but I'm not going to go to Storrs, Connecticut to go hang out with the UConn students when they won. So outside of that,
college parades happen?
Yeah, like on the campuses. That's what they do on the campuses.
So that would sound fun as a Penn State fan.
As a college student, absolutely.
Even as a washed-up college student, as someone that is an alum, I think I would rather fly into my college town to celebrate a national championship as an alum than to fly into a city where I'm a fan of their pro sports team. Because it's almost like a college reunion, and you just kind of enjoy it until it's a game
also,
day.
there's a guarantee that you'll get all the guys that you went to school with.
Right, exactly.
Back to school. It'd be like you make a trip out of it.
You have that bonding, exactly. And you can go to your college bars, and you have that special nostalgic attachment to it.
Yeah, Wisconsin wins a national championship in college football or the NCAA tournament. NCAA tournament, I probably wouldn't go because the timing of the year is precarious. But,
the weather's a lot better for that then.
What?
The weather would be a lot better
Weather
to do
would be
that
a lot better.
instead of waiting until mid-January.
Yeah, it's just Easter weekend. That's when the Final Four in the national championship is. I don't know. Point being, I love going to Madison. I wouldn't pass up an excuse to go to Madison, so I probably would do something like that. But pro sports team, Jacksonville wins a title, I drive north for that. That's
The drive was easy, right?
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. You just get on 95 and you don't stop until you hit Jacksonville. But outside of the Sacramento A's, let's say they win this year, where do they do the parade? Do they do it in Sacramento? Do they do it in Sacramento?
They don't have a city name, right? They're not actually called that. They're called the
Athletics.
A's.
They're the Athletics.
They don't have a city.
No. And they don't have a city until 2028. Where would they do it? You're not going to Oakland. You're going to get rocks thrown at the bus if the Athletics win a title.
Wow.
Where do they do the parade?
I think if you had to choose between Oakland and Vegas, you would choose Vegas. And
they would probably do Vegas. That is ridiculous. A bunch of guys who just lost $5,000 on the tables walking outside the Sacramento A's who haven't played a single game in Las Vegas on a 105-degree day.
Who's an A? Nick Kurtz?
Sure.
Yeah. He's throwing T-shirts that just hit in the ground and it stays there until the street
wants a
sweeper.
T-shirt. They want chips. Throw chips to the Bellagio.
Wow. If the Athletics won the World Series this year,
where do they do the parade?
What if they just don't have one? I feel like the players aren't egging on, especially in this situation. The players wouldn't want to show up for a parade.
They would do a parade in Sacramento, I think. You think? They would do a parade.
Are they creating fans in Sacramento?
No. It seats 8,000, and it doesn't sell out.
There's got to be some person who's like, you know what? I didn't have a favorite baseball team until
There is
now.
a person. There is a person. Singular.
Because the A's stink. And the A's won their World Series now over 20 years ago. So that hasn't resonated to this long.
the last A's title was, they've been in the playoffs. The last A's title was 89. So, and that was way back when. That was when they were in Oakland, and they beat San Francisco at that in that World Series.
I meant to say the Angels. The Angels, the Angels the closest city to Sacramento and Anaheim, or no?
Anaheim's south of L.A.
Oh, so it's absolutely not.
No.
So San Francisco Giants
Sacramento is south of San Francisco.
Okay, and San Fran dominates so much in terms of baseball fandom. It's like a border war between them and Dodgers fans.
They just do it because there's a ballpark there, sitting there. Oh, we could use this. That's the only reason why that worked.
Yeah, I thought Sacramento was north. I didn't know that was south. I'm sorry, I thought Anaheim was north. I didn't know it was south.
Sacramento is around San Francisco. I don't know if it's south. San Jose is south. I could be wrong. But what I do know is that it's in the Bay Area. It's Bay Area a little inward. But Anaheim, yeah, that's in Orange County. That's between L.A. and San Diego.
They are claiming two cities in their name, which is absurd. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
I got to go back to the Angels parade. because where the hell was it? Was it in Orange County? If anybody's ever been to Orange County, California, it is Disneyland, the A's Stadium, and residential housing. They got Chapman University. That is it. What, they go down Newport Beach? So I don't know. These smaller market teams, you don't know where they do the parade. The A's, I don't know how they do it. They probably throw up a poll on their Twitter. Where should we parade? Vegas, Oakland, or Sacramento, or none? And I wonder what would win.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see FAU if they brought it home when they went to the Final Four.
Yeah, they would do both.
That would be a very...
Campus. They do the campus of Boca.
I think they would do downtown Boca and just do it like on that main road.
Maybe. I would think they'd want to get the students there, and there's 40,000 students, so they'd be able to get enough kids there. But I mean, if that smaller market outside of campus weird area school or team wins, where do you do it? Where do you do a parade?
The A's, I don't think, would do a parade. In your example, the A's don't have a home.
That's the main example.
Players wouldn't want to do a parade. The players would win it for them.
Want to do a parade.
The players would want to celebrate on their own. Like, they're not playing for a city right now, quite literally. Like, I
haven't gauged the interest. You know, Nick Allen I was at the Houston Astros spring training today, and Nick Allen was a former A. He was a shortstop. He's now on the Astros. I should ask him about this. Give me a good pulse of the locker room. If the A's won the World Series, where would they do the parade?
Yeah, because you heard like all after the Super Bowl, if you left the broadcast on long enough, which I really had to lobby for in my household, where they were all thanking the 12s. We love the 12s. We love our fans. Thank you, Seattle. A lot of these cities, most of these cities, have at least some type of attachment to the city of which they play their games in and the fans that root them on. The A's just don't have that.
No. Yeah, I'm down on championship parades. I'm down on it. Maybe because I haven't experienced one, but I'm down on it.
That's true. I am also a hating from outside the club, to where maybe if I went to a championship parade, I'd be singing a different tune. Maybe we'll ask Mike Rizzo when he joins, when he went to the Cleveland Cavaliers championship parade, what his opinion is on.
888-760-3776. Have you been to a championship parade, collegiately or professionally? What was your experience? Did you enjoy it? Is it worth going to? Christian and I are down on it. We need some selling on it. Filling in for Theo Dorsey today, it is Colin Russo and Christian Katt. Theoretically speaking, the Miami Dolphins quietly, it has come out that the Miami Dolphins are going to move on from Tua Tagovailoa, and that is the expectation per the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero. So you got all those guys saying that they're going to find a way, trade, release, however way to get Tua off the roster. Well, all right, you're going to get rid of him with all that money. How are you going to do it? We're going to get into that on the other side of things. That is Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Joseph Malloy, tax partner in Anshin's Construction Group.
The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, also known as the OBBBA, will have a significant impact on tax planning strategies. The bill restores and makes permanent 100% bonus depreciation for all eligible purchases made after January 19, 2025. This tax incentive will influence investments in additional machinery and equipment upgrades, providing an immediate tax deduction and helping contractors increase cash flow. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we strategically guide construction companies through the new tax law to help them develop the right strategy and enhance profitability. If you're a construction executive or owner looking to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
Whether it's a clutch touchdown pass, a game-winning dunk, or an impressive dash to the finish, we want to highlight the best performance of the week. The winning performance will receive $500 courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Catch the biggest moments and winners all season long on ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. Nominate them today by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Welcome to being treated like a pro.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Mantos is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manso's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manso's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
We also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Good luck surviving the off-season, football fans.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Football's over, it's like a part of me just died inside. 200 days till football's back, but tonight I won't just cry, cause I've got a ways to play. And that's the place with Hard Rock Bet, I will survive.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Experience the world's premier equestrian event right here in Wellington, Florida. The Winter Equestrian Festival brings together Olympic and world champion riders and horses from all around the globe for 13 weeks of elite international competition and unforgettable moments. Don't miss the iconic Saturday Night Lights, high-energy show jumping, incredible atmosphere, and excitement under the lights. Now through March at Wellington International. Visit wellingtoninternational.com for more information. Wellington International, where champions are made.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Janice Ridenour from J. Zello & Associates. For nearly 30 years, my firm has worked alongside business owners and their teams, helping them truly understand QuickBooks with clear accounting guidance, proven workflows, and hands-on training. We offer customized QuickBooks Online training delivered in a supportive, judgment-free environment so you can learn at your pace. If you're stressed about your books, you don't have to be. Get trained, get confident, get it right. And when you need ongoing support or you'd rather have it done for you, our experienced team is here to help. Visit jzillow.com and schedule your free consultation today.
God knows.
And quite frankly, if you got anything to say about my quarterback, you got anything to say about my defense, you got anything to say about my O-line, and you got anything to say about the city of Seattle, I got two words for you. You.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
That is Ernest Jones, the linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks, saying that in defense of Sam Darnold at the Super Bowl parade for the Seattle Seahawks today in Seattle. Colin Russo, Christian Catt filling in for Theo Dorsey on Theoretically Speaking today on ESPN 106.3. I love that because everywhere Darnold goes, the team seemingly loves him. He was a fan favorite in Minnesota, and he is clearly a fan favorite in Seattle.
Resilient, man. I think people respect when you make it out the mud. when you are not born on third base in terms of the NFL.
He doesn't have any. He doesn't. Yeah, there's nothing to be cocky about because he's had an up and down, rough patch career.
Yeah, I also want to note. I think Super Bowl or / championship parades, you will get forgiven with whatever you say on stage. You can get away with anything.
You could. That's true. You could say whatever you want.
Like this parade was probably broadcasted live on network news television locally in Seattle, where they got to worry about bad words. They got to worry about everything. They've got live mics, and they're probably not happy with it. But they just won the Super Bowl, so you kind of just shrug your shoulders and say, if it's ever going to happen, I guess it's then.
Of teams that did not celebrate a Super Bowl championship over the week, the Miami Dolphins very quietly went through the news cycle when it came out per NFL Network that they were going to the plan. The expectation is the Dolphins are going to move on from quarterback Tua Tagovailoa this offseason. So whatever that looks like in terms of how they're going to do it and the money attached, it seems like trade will be the number one thing that they're looking at. And after that, they'd even go to the lengths. It was reported that they'd even consider the avenues of what a release would look like. He's due about $100 million, and it's going to be a difficult release to kind of swing financially, but it sounds like they're going to play the trade game first. And I think they're lucky. The Dolphins are fortunate that this is a year where quarterbacks are few and far between within the draft and in free agency. So if they get the right suitor, the right buyer, that will be their solution. But Christian, I'm going to ask you before I answer it myself, is Tua a tradable asset?
Yeah. I think teams are desperate enough to want a quarterback that at least at one point had a stock higher than it is right now. When you think about buying low and having someone overproduce on what you would get them for, as a matter of fact, you'd probably get Tua and other things on top of that in order to take on the money and all of that. I do think that this is the right move to make when you make a switch at general manager and head coach. You have the most amount of job security you're going to have without actually winning anything yet right at that moment. And if you're going to break things down and I think moving on from Tua is riskier right now than you would be if you just kept him. I mean, there's a reason when they played Tua a lot of last year. It's because it was more of a bird in the hand. Taking a big swing and trying to sign somebody else wouldn't have made much sense because it could have been worse while still paying Tua all that money. So I think it's the right move to make as a GM and a head coach, both new guys in the building. I think there might be a market for Tua. So
if you're trying to figure out the finances, here it is. The Dolphins' extension with Tua was 4 years for $212 million. They signed the extension in July of 24. They already owe Tua $54 million guaranteed this year in 2026. And they have another $3 million, which is of Tua's next year's contract. It all becomes guaranteed on the 5th day of the new league year, which is March 15th. On top of that, if they cut Tua today or within the next, between now and June, if they cut him, they would leave a $99 million dead money salary cap charge, which would be the highest in NFL history by a substantial margin. And if they did that, designate him as a post-June 1 cut, which is how they do the money, it would split up that money over a 2-year period. So it wouldn't cripple them over 1 year. They would have to just split it apart over 2. So that's the finances behind it. You essentially owe him $100 million. And you need to figure out a way to get that off your books. And here's the thing. He's not good enough where teams are going to be willing to pay it. If Dolphins are going to want to get rid of him, they're going to have to cover a substantial portion of that salary. That's number one. So get that away. Hey, get that through your head if you're thinking that they're going to get rid of him and get rid of the contract at the same time. They're going to be paying a lot of dead cap because of Tua this season. That, I think, is a guarantee. Now, the question is, who's your shooter? Who calls? Christian, you had a couple interesting ones when I asked you about this in the break coming in. What team do you think would be interested in trading for Tua Tagovailoa?
I think if you trade away Tua and Devon Achane, just one of the good commodities on the Dolphins right now.
Make it a little spicier.
That you can live without a good running back. I think NFL teams have survived much more, especially teams that aren't trying to win in the playoffs, win a Super Bowl, which the Dolphins are certainly leagues away from. I think a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers would make sense. I think if the Steelers would take on Tua, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to return, or at least they're going to try to. Aaron Rodgers' love for football was reinvigorated in Pittsburgh.
They got Mike McCarthy for a reason, yep.
And I think that Tua under Aaron Rodgers for a year, and then Tua being the succession plan after Rodgers would make a great deal of sense in Pittsburgh.
It's not a terrible idea because logistically it works. It's the Steelers they're not going to trade a ton of assets for a young and up-and-coming prospect. They'll enter into the wave of Malik Willis. They probably won't get him. He's probably heading to Miami, believe it or not. And the Steelers have always been in the market of taking an aging, veteran, expensive quarterback. They've done it before. So it's not the first time that we've seen the Steelers themselves do this. So they come to mind. Obviously, Kyler Murray is going to be on the trade block as well. Is the Jets crazy? Intra-division. Is the Jets crazy?
I think the Jets are thinking draft, aren't they?
This year?
Even with Gabriel, or not Dylan Gabriel. Dante Moore going back to college to kind of avoid the Jets. I think the Jets are thinking long-term, we got to draft somebody, and he will be the quarterback plan.
I'd make the argument that they're waiting a little bit because I don't think if there's not a surefire, why would you enter into that limbo this year unless the coach is worried about his job? That's the one thing I would add to that. Now, Kirk Cousins is another one because he's got a major cap hit himself where he's got about $60 million on the books for the rest of his contract. He's owed $67 million next year with a $90 million cap hit, which, of course, they're going to front load, whatever. Kirk Cousins is going to be a trade commodity as well. I know because they're releasing him, so not a trade commodity, a pickup commodity. He'd had dead cap with the Falcons. That's one to me that comes up for the Jets, Kirk Cousins. If they ended up not going the Cousins route, if Cousins doesn't want to enter onto the sinking ship that is the New York Jets at the moment, would they call for Tua? They'd call for Kyler. Would they call for Tua? They don't want to give up a lot. You don't have to give up a lot to get to it. They don't want to give up any second-round pick, third-round pick. They want to give up a fifth-rounder. We'll give you a fifth-rounder, and you eat most of the contract. We'll take Tua off your hands. I don't know if that's a terrible idea.
Right. It feels like a more of an expensive version of the Justin Fields situation, which didn't go out well. Like, you had a guy with a lot of promise at one point on stop 2 for Tua, stop 3 for Justin Fields this year, and it didn't work out very well. They moved on immediately.
You're just on you're on the team that you think the Jets are going to draft a quarterback. I don't know if I'm there. I do not know if I'm there.
You mean like this year or next year?
This coming year.
Right. I don't think this year would make sense because they would have to tremendously reach on somebody.
They need a year. And Tua is a year's process. And after this year, it becomes much more doable. And plus, they're not going to have to owe him any of the money. That's all the Dolphins. That would be
so a year and maybe he's Sam Darnold's for you, like Darnold did not for the Seahawks, but the Vikings.
It's just like a shot in the dark. I don't know if it's a great move, but it's an experienced quarterback that at least provides something with a good offensive line there. I think the Jets you call. I think the Steelers you call. I mean, outside of that, NFC teams are not going to become calling like crazy. So because of that, I mean, the Saints don't need one. The Buccaneers don't need one. The Carolina Panthers don't need one. The Falcons don't need one. The NFC West don't even think about it outside the Arizona Cardinals are not getting rid of Kyler Murray to bring in Tua Tagovailoa. So forget that. And the NFC North doesn't need one. So you're trading him to an AFC counterpart. The Raiders got their guy. You get the Jets. You get the Steelers who are going to need one. And after that, you go down the list.
The Jets would be a good move for the Jets. I don't think it'd be a good move for Tua. I think that could be a cemetery for Tua. I think if he went to Pittsburgh and mentally reset a year not being a starting quarterback.
A good coach who's good with quarterbacks.
And listen, I'm not going to get into the science of concussions, but I got to imagine that not playing a 18-week season might be good for him in general with his history of head injuries. And then to
go quiet for 12 months.
To go into a less toxic situation than he was in Miami, in both iterations of him in Miami, I think that would be a tremendous career move for Tua.
Now, the one thing I would add is there's no guarantee that Tua will be a starter after this year. Let's say Rodgers is there, and they don't like what they see out of Tua as a backup. He's already expensive, and they're going to have to, and keep in mind, after, the year after that, he's still going to be under contract, but they're going to have to start thinking about an extension too for a guy that hasn't played a snap for them. So then all of a sudden you're thinking, do we pay the veteran, the 30-year-old at that point on our bench, or do we go draft somebody instead? So I don't know what the Steelers are thinking. I understand your point of view, though, especially if it's cheap, because you got to assume that the Dolphins are going to eat, I would throw out there blindly, 70% of what they owed to get him off the books.
Steelers are never going to be bad enough. We'll see what happens with McCarthy this year.
Give him some time.
Which he also kind of has a tendency to float to not the bottom of the NFL. He kind of just sits there into not getting a prime quarterback, top 5 pick, striking range to reset your organization, which has been a problem in the Tomlin era. Never bad enough to get a great quarterback at the top end of the first round, but never good enough to actually win playoff games in the past 10 years. So I think it's more feasible to see the Steelers have enough nuts and bolts to put together a team that is around 500, that with Rodgers, maybe they take a step forward next year after year 2 with him. Who knows? But I don't see them being able to draft a quarterback in Pittsburgh.
$99 million is owed to Tua Tagovailoa in dead cap over the next 2 years. So cutting him, the Dolphins would be on the hook for pretty much all of that, and they'd spend it over the next 2 years. If they were able to trade it, there's a chance that you can maybe get 20% of it off your books, 30% of it off your books. I'd say anything more than that would be crazy based on the lack of leverage the Dolphins have. I think the Jets come to mind. I think the Steelers come to mind. Outside of that, I don't think the Browns want anything to do with that. They're not touching that. And the AFC West is another example of, the team over there, they're not going to do it. Outside the Raiders are good. They got their guy.
So right now we know Tua is planning, or at least the plan for Tua is to not be a Dolphin.
Yeah,
do you think Tua starts a game in 2026?
Yeah.
It'll be probably for somebody else.
Let's say it's for somebody else. He'll be on a roster. And with the amount of guys that we see go down, injuries, backups always come up and play. I think Tua is going to be the type of guy, a la Gardner Minshew. If he becomes a journeyman and he doesn't find a stable home, he's the type of guy that's going to be a top-of-the-line backup that somehow finds his way to good teams who might need him when the sky falls.
Completely lost in the fold of this 2025 NFL season is the Daniel Jones situation, where before injury, it looked like he was going to be the guy
glorified that tier 1 backup.
Daniel Jones was going to be the guy that was holding the trophy. At one point, the Colts looked like the most dominant force in the NFL, the most efficient offense in the NFL, and he was the reprisal, the from the mud to a championship-winning quarterback, where he had the Colts midway through the season before he got hurt. Of course, eventually it was Sam Darnold out of the NFC who ended up being the story for that situation. But we've been lower on quarterbacks than Tua. Tua looked really bad when he played last year.
I agree, and he's looked bad really for 2 years. I would say if you don't give up on Darnold and you didn't give up on Daniel Jones, I don't understand how you could give up on Tua.
And when you say the league in general, somebody's going to say, I can fix him.
The consensus amongst the fans is Sam Darnold is a lost cause and that Daniel Jones is a lost cause. If Mac Jones ends up getting a contract, if there is a spot where Tua just needs to go to a backup and reset, I'll tell you where he'll be. He'll be a backup for Brock Purdy in San Francisco. Yeah. He'll play. Wait, Sam, how'd you do it? Oh, you went to Shanahan. All right, so he called Darnold, figure out how he reset, and then he heads over to San Francisco and backs up for a year.
How about Minnesota for Tua as a destination?
Not a terrible one. It applies a little bit of pressure on McCarthy. I don't think that. Imagine that. J.J. McCarthy, who might not be any good. Maybe he's good, but might not be any good. And Tua Tagovailoa when you had Darnold sitting there. And Darnold won a Super Bowl with Seattle.
Right. And
preseason favorite next year.
I mean, We saw it. Yeah, exactly. We saw it last offseason with Darnold in Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy didn't lose a quarterback battle. He just got hurt, and Darnold succeeded with Vikings.
The good news for Tua is he is in the 3-year period where in recent memory, guys like him have found ways to succeed.
That's true. You can sell it. You can always look across the league.
You can sell it. His agent can sell it. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. They could sell this.
We're past the Josh Rosen years.
Malik Willis was terrible at the Titans. He reset. Now he's going to get a contract. This is not a one-and-done league anymore, and I think the fact that you saw that with Darnold, there's an avenue for Tua to succeed. It's just not with the Dolphins. Now it's a matter of the Dolphins have $99 million owed to him in terms of dead cap if they were to get rid of him. Can you get any of that off your books? It would make John Eric Sullivan, the new general manager's life, a whole lot easier if they could figure that out and get Tua off their books at least, and they're going to have to cover it, 60, 70%. If you get 30% of that off, I think you're happy.
So with this middle class of quarterbacks and it not totally needing to be a elite quarterback to think about Super Bowls, who is hurt by this? Like, is it quarterbacks that might get paid in the future that haven't cashed in on the $60 million contract like Dak Prescott?
I think it's the rookie. I think it's the rookie, the guy in the rookie contract, because teams will give up on them in favor of the future them, if that makes sense. The guy who is a rookie and doesn't succeed, they'll get rid of him quickly because he's cheap to get rid of, and they'll find a guy who is journeyman figuring his way out as a backup and get him as their long-term starter. And that guy, it's an endless cycle. I think the guy who's on a rookie contract who needs time to succeed is going to get hurt by this. The J.J. McCarthys of the world, the Michael Penixes of the world get hurt by this. Because after year 2, year 3, then he's going to be a backup, and then all of a sudden you see Penix in 3 years. He's able to figure it out with a good coach. That is my interpretation of it all. Maybe we're sitting here at Duffy's down the street watching Tua win games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if that's completely out of the question.
That's how I started my football season, when it was Sunday Night Football, first game of the year on that station. It was Ravens, it was Bills, it was me, it was Theo, and I watched the Ravens lose. Then we came on and did a live show after that. But Duffy Sports Grill, don't let what actually happens on the screens hurt your mood, because it's hard to when you've got award-winning burgers, award-winning wings. There's a reason why it was once again voted the best sports grill across Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. The food is spectacular. The deals, they're just as good. We're talking about weekday lunch deals, including the Duffy's Double Play starting at just $7.99. And the deal that won't quit, it's there all day, every day. 2-for-1 drinks. Duffy's MVP cards are how you earn your rewards and you cash in on all your trips to Duffy's. If you want more information on Duffy's, the deals they got going on, Duffy'sMVP.com, Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
We'll close out the program next. It is Christian Katt, Colin Russo filling in for Theo Dorsey on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Want to play college football? Register today for the free Orange Bowl Florida High School Football Showcase presented by Baptist Health. Hit the gridiron on Saturday, February 28th at St. Thomas University in Miami Gardens and show off your football skills in front of coaches from across the country for a chance to earn scholarships for college. The event is open to high school juniors and seniors. More than $1 million is awarded each year. Register for free today at orangebowl.org.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo filling in on ESPN 106.3 on Theoretically Speaking with Christian Katt. Still behind the glass on the City Play Studios. If you've missed any of the show, go listen back, go watch it back. Watch it back on YouTube, on our YouTube at ESPN South Florida, or Twitter and Facebook at ESPN West Palm. You got to understand, if you're feeling, break an ankle, twist an ankle, you don't really know how to get back to your top level, that's where Baptist Health Orthopedic Care comes in. Welcome to that pro-level orthopedic care that is only at Baptist Health. If an injury is keeping you from doing what you love, our expert team is here to keep you back in the game. Trusted by the pros and ready for you, because everybody deserves pro-level care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more. Christian Katt, we had Evan Cohen on the show about an hour ago talking about the tanking in the NBA and Adam Silver as a commissioner, and how do you fix it, and is there something to be fixed? Is there something he could do? He's too good guy with the players. And I posed a question to Evan about what he would do if he was Adam Silver in this situation, if you're the commissioner of the NBA, to combat anti-competitiveness that you see with the Jazz, you've seen with the Wizards, you've seen with the Kings. If I were to ask you the same question, if you were to be Adam Silver for the next foreseeable future, and priority number one was fixing this, what would you do?
I think that you have a point in terms of the players getting paid so much guaranteed money that they don't have much to fight for in the regular season. I think you make a great point on that. Shortening the season would at least help me. I would like every game to mean just a little bit more, and I understand that it means just less money made by the NBA.
Hey, right. You have 20 teams that make the NBA the postseason, including the play-in teams, and you play 82 games for 2/3.
Right, but I also maybe I would if you shrink the playoffs. I think that just at the trade deadline,
it adds the pool of tankers.
Exactly. It's like you got to choose now if you want to make the playoffs and if you fair a chance at not getting swept in the first round, or if you are better suited just packing it in, we'll try again next year and tank, just sink to the bottom because these wins will only hurt you when it comes to your draft lottery odds. I don't have the answer for it. I'm not paid to fix the NBA. I have other responsibilities. I need to make sure that my bills are paid on time, doing other things.
But you ultimately agree with me that a big chunk of lack of interest in that regular season is because the players, they sign their contract and they make their money whatever happens in the regular season.
Yeah, it's very point blank obvious if you watch a postseason game versus a regular season game that there are two different sports being played, and the players don't care, so why should we? And that comes with organizations choosing to tank and organizations choosing players to sit out, maybe not for tanking, but for load management reasons. Yeah, exactly. It kind of follows from the top down. If we're seeing intensity each and every game like we might see in other leagues, I think I'd care more.
You think the fact is that the Jazz and teams like that are being blatantly anti-competitive with benching players and not playing players in favor of tanking? Do you think that's punishable?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think you got to submit like a doctor's note or something. Like there needs to be.
I need an X-ray.
Exactly. I feel like that needs to be the case. Didn't the league come and lay a hammer down on the Spurs when Pop was coaching them in terms of load management?
There was conversations about it. That was at the end of Stern into Silver. So yeah.
Yeah, I think there definitely is punishable. I mean, anti-competitive. If there is any decision being made to not win the game that is being played, that people are paying hundreds of dollars for tickets, that's wrong. And you're doing wrong by your fans and doing wrong by your advertising partners. You're doing wrong by the league if you are choosing to make decisions not to win the game that day.
That's Christian Catt. Colin Russo, I think he's right. And we'll continue to talk about it. We'll loop in Mike Rizzo on the other side of things. We'll do some Russo and Rizzo next. Appreciate everybody staying aboard with us on Theoretically Speaking. If you're wondering where Theo Dorsey is, he is at his 4th dentist appointment in 2026. We checked. An educated guess is 4 dentist appointments in this year alone. So something's going on. Theo's either getting veneers or he's in a bare-knuckle boxing or underground league, and he needs to get his teeth operated on every 5 seconds. But we'll see. Maybe he's back tomorrow. Maybe he has another dentist appointment. Well, appreciate everybody staying aboard. We'll see you next time on Theoretically Speaking. Stay tuned for next. You got Russo and Rizzo from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on ESPN 106.3.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th